Hey everyone, this is Bo from the Mabinogi server. I'm here to do a video on Mabinogi NA servers. Alrighty. I know some of you guys have been waiting for a video like this because there's lots of people who actually ask me, Bobo, which server should I join? Oh, of course you should be joining the Mabinogi server. Yeah, but of course I cannot be biased here, and I gotta share you guys all the information I have collected in regards to all 4 NA servers. So let's go ahead and get started. Now, before I begin though, I want to let you guys know that the sample size here is not that huge, so unfortunately I cannot really get a super accurate answer. I feel like a good amount of the people who had participated weren't sure with their answers as well, so maybe you guys will see this and say, oh no, I don't think that's true. So feel free to leave your thoughts, your feedback, your opinions in the comments below, and share as to why you feel that it's inaccurate. Now, I've kind of actually purposely avoided doing a video like this because I didn't want people to get, you know, upset. I didn't want people to think that there's one server better than the other. So please keep an open mind when you guys are watching this video, and don't think that I'm favoring a certain server or saying one is better or worse than the other. So, yeah, that's all I want to make sure you guys do. Just keep an open mind, guys. Alright, here we go. Let's get started. Got my trusty squirrel buddy here. We've done our detective work and research, and we have collected this data. Here we go. First question was, how popular is your server? Now, of course, this is probably a question I didn't even have to ask, but I did it anyways. And you can see that Alexina here is the most popular choice. Coming in second is the Mabinogi server. And then, surprisingly, third was Rory, and the last was Tarlac. I know immediately people are going to be like, no way, Tarlac should be in third. And I want to say there's probably a reason behind this, and I want to explain to you guys why I think this might be accurate. Alright, now let's first start with Alexina. I know some of you guys don't know too much about the history of when Mabinogi was first released, so let me just tell you guys the one thing. Basically, when Mabinogi first released its game for NA, there was only 3 servers you guys could choose from. It was only Mari, Tarlac, and Rory at the time. Now, Mari was basically the Alexina at the time, being the most popular choice, and that's probably why it's in second right now. When Alexina came out later, it became the most popular choice because it was new, and then people kind of want to transfer over and, you know, try it out. And it still has that new icon next to it when you guys choose your server. So in a way, it kind of encourages a lot of new players to join that server, as well as the fact that because it's so popular and so populated, a lot of people want to join that. They just want to join the server that has the most players, right? So that makes sense. Alright, next thing I wanted to mention was Rory. Why is it in third? I know some of you guys are like, no way, I barely see any Rory peeps. And I want to say that it's probably accurate just because of the fact that I feel that a lot of Rory players are kind of low-key. A lot of Rory players really just play the game and just, you know, that they only want to focus on playing the game. That they don't bother with outside community activities, you know, whether it be on YouTube, Discord, forums, and whatnot. They just want to play the game. They don't want to bother with that stuff. So I feel like it's a lot bigger than you guys may think it is. Alright, next choice here, or question here, is old players and beta testers. Now this one's kind of somewhat inaccurate. It's hard to say because we don't really know who's an old player or a beta tester when you run into them. In a way, it's kind of like a hit or miss. It's hard to say. I want to say that the reason why Mari is slightly smaller is because back then Mari, and probably still now, was considered as one of the most dramatic servers, therefore causing a lot of older players to leave and quit. So I can kind of understand why it's a little bit smaller than the rest. Alright, moving on to my next question. Number 3 question on the board was economy, inflation. Like, how bad are people pricing things, players pricing things, their items and whatnot? Well, the economy, as you can see, is really bad in Alexina and Mari. Obviously because they're the most popular server choices. And then Tarlek and Rory are kind of like, yeah, the same. Unfortunately, you can also see that even though Alexina is whoppingly big than Mari, Mari doesn't fall too far behind in terms of the economy. Therefore, you can kind of actually see that Mari is actually one of the worst servers to join in terms of the economy. FYI, guys, there's lots of gold inflated inside Mari. Next question on the board is the amount of lag. Alright, well, interestingly enough, a lot of people that were from the Alexina server did not say that their server was that laggy, to my surprise, actually. Who knows, maybe that's true. Maybe it's the fact that they have, they're on a new server that's considered, you know, that helps their server to be less laggy. Hard to say, really. But also, this is probably inaccurate due to the fact that lag, you know, is based off of many factors. It can be your computer, your internet, the server, or the channel that you're on, the activities that you're doing, all factors into lag. And that's probably why Mari is one of the biggest, laggiest servers, because there's a lot of people, a lot of OP players doing raids and whatnot here and there, and it can cause lag. When events first come out, oh my god, I get spike lag every once in a while. So I can kind of understand why Mari was chosen. It was one of the laggiest servers. And then you can see that Rory is not too far behind. As the next choice, kind of in tie with Tarlek. Rory, like I said, is probably low-key really active, so lag is probably a thing. But in a way, lag is everywhere, guys. Can't avoid it. It's a thing. Alright, next question on the board was active guilds. Again, you can kind of see here, to my surprise, Rory was voted as one of the most active guild servers. And I know some of you guys are going to be like, what is so wrong, Bobo? So wrong! Why is Mari the least? And I want to say the reason why I think this might be somewhat accurate is, like I said, the fact that Rory is a very low-key server. It's a server that probably a lot of players actively play, and you don't think that it actually is active because they're just, you know, they're just kind of low-key. From what I've seen in many Twitch streams, a lot of Mabinogi players are actually from the Rory server on my Twitch streams. So it's kind of interesting that that you guys probably think that Rory is the least active, when it's actually probably the most. Mari, unfortunately, is probably the least because of certain reasons. As you guys can probably argue that Mari should be the most because there's so many different guilds in Mari. It's probably the least active just because of the fact that a lot of those guilds are probably placeholder guilds. Lots of people, I want to say, in the Mari server just make a guild just to have the crown above their head, or that they just, you know, want to have their own private clique with their buddies, but not actually run a guild. So in a way, those placeholder guilds are probably filled with alts, filled with empty players that no longer play, and that can be why it seems that Mari has a lot of active guilds, when in actuality, it's just filled with, like, players that just want to have a name of their choice above their head. So, that is probably accurate. To my surprise, though, I'm still kind of surprised Alexina wasn't in the lead here. But, like I said, feel free to leave your thoughts below if you guys feel it's inaccurate. Next choice here on the board is NX and Cash Shop Spenders. Definitely can agree with this one that Alexina and Mari is probably the most cash spending servers. And of course, because of the fact that they're popular. But you can see, again, Mari has quite a huge slice of that pie. Rory actually comes in third, and it's, like I said, it's understandable considering the fact that if there's a lot of low-key players actively playing the game, that means they're actively using the cash shop as well. So, that is a thing. The next thing on the list is PvP players. Now this one I want to say is somewhat inaccurate, because of the fact that Mabinogi in general is not really a PvP-oriented game. I know everybody will agree with me when I say that PvP is not really balanced that well in Mabi, so a lot of people don't like to do PvP. But you can see here that Alexina has a lot more players doing PvP just because of the fact that it's more popular. But other than that, there's not really a specific server that's PvP oriented, so just choose whichever server you guys want. Going on to my next question. Friendliness to new players. Now this one is actually a hit or miss, honestly, because you don't know who's friendly and obviously who's mean. It's kind of like if you get lucky, you run into a good person, or you get unlucky and you run into a bad person. So in a way, you know, Alexina is bigger because of the fact that there's more players and a more likely chance to run into a nicer player than a mean person. Right? It's just like the real world, pretty much. So it's hard to say which one is a more friendlier server than another. Going on to the next question, and that is question number 9. Player run social events. Now this one's hard to say too, because it's one of those things that you barely see, and if you do see, it's like watching a shooting star. It just happens right at that moment, like you weren't aware. So in a way, I kind of want to agree with it, because I feel that there's a lot of people in Mari who would use bugles and be like, hey, let's do this, or this event's going on over here, come join, da da da. And that's what I kind of see once in a while on Mari. I'm not sure about the other servers, but I feel that not too many people are aware whether a player social event happens, so that's why it's somewhat of an inaccurate answer here. But other than that, yep, that is the, I guess, ratio for server, for player run social events. Going on to my next question, number 10, is player run raids and parties. Which server is the most active in raids and parties? Again, not hard to tell because this pie chart is practically equal. You can see that Alexina is a little bit higher, obviously, because of population, and everything else is kind of like the same. Strangely enough, Mari is actually the same as the other two servers, even though it's considered more popular. And I want to kind of agree with that. This is a little bit inactive in that server. Going on to question number 11. Social drama. Which server is the most social drama server here? I know a lot of people are going to be like, Mari! Toot toot Mari! And I can kind of agree that Mari is one of the most dramatic servers in existence out of the 4. But to my surprise, according to the survey results, a good half of the people were like, yeah, this server is very dramatic. And then another good portion of the people actually said that Mari was not at all dramatic. And in a way, I can kind of agree with that. It depends on which circles you guys fall into. If you guys end up being in a circle of friends that causes a lot of drama, obviously you guys are gonna be facing high intensity drama. If you guys fall in a circle with friends that are pretty chill and relaxed, then of course you're gonna run into, you know, no drama. So it's really a hit or miss. It's hard to say, but for the most part, from experiences from lots of other players in the server, a lot of people had said Mari was one of the most dramatic servers. Going on to our last question, hackers, scammers, and trolls. To my surprise, I don't know why Alexina was voted as high in here, but not that much higher. In a way, it's kind of an inaccurate answer here, because not too many people will be aware who's a hacker and if they got scammed or whatnot. And then trolls are just kind of like, in general, how you take answers, whether you take it too seriously and think, you know, that they're messing with you, or you take it as a joke and you laugh along with it. So it's kind of hard to say the accuracy of this answer here. Alexina is probably just only slightly higher just because of the fact that it's a bigger server. And that's pretty much all the answers I have for you guys. There was one that I kind of wanted to add in, and it was basically, which channel do you think is the least laggiest on your server? I want to say for the Mari server at least, channel 3 is probably the least laggiest. But before this video, it becomes the most laggiest, right? Well, hopefully not. Anyways, if you guys have your answer, feel free to leave them in the comments below. And if you, of course, disagree with some of the stuff, don't start World War III in my comment section towards the videos. Please be courteous to others and explain as to why you feel that they're wrong, and, you know, share your thoughts and opinion as well. And that's it, pretty much. Hopefully this will help you guys decide which server you like. In general, you guys can kind of get an idea of how each server is, and find the good points that factor to what you guys like the most. Anyways, thanks you guys for watching, and like always guys, stay awesome.